The Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for this Monday, January 12th. This year, as you well know if you've been listening, is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and our freedom. And it's celebrated in a lot of ways. And one of the ways that it's celebrated is with pretty extensive fireworks shows, one of which is being planned for Saginaw. But as always, it takes money, and there is a fundraising event coming up to support it. We're going to talk about that this morning with a couple of folks involved. First of all, she runs the East Side Soup Kitchen, and we say good morning to Diane Keenan.
Good morning.
Morning. Thanks for being with us. She brought this other guy with her, who I have to be very nice to because he's also one of my bosses. And we say good morning to Sheriff Bill Federspiel.
Well, good morning, Art. Good morning, Diane.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
So I have to start out. There's going to be a fundraising concert that Bill's going to be doing that we'll talk about here. But what's your relationship to the fireworks?
So I serve on the board of directors.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yes, for the Saginaw Area Fireworks, and I happen to be the chairperson for this event.
Lucky you.
Yes. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be great.
Bigger and better fireworks show than we're normally treated to, which is always big.
That's our plan.
All right. So this fundraiser is when and where?
Okay, so it's called Stars Above Saginaw, and it's going to be at the Saginaw Club, and it's on Saturday, January 31st. We're going to have food, and we're going to have great entertainment right here, which this young man will be able to tell us about.
Time out. Time out. Have your glasses checked.
She did say young, didn't she? I'm writing this down, Art.
Right.
Yeah, have your glasses checked.
I didn't get a haircut. Come on.
Well, he's younger than I am. Yes, you did.
And me.
Oh, my goodness. So Bill, you're going to be there with one of your bands.
Yes.
Bill, for those that don't know, if you're looking at Sheriff Federspiel is also not only the sheriff of Saginaw County that he's been for 17
years. I'm in my
18th
year. I just started the 18th.
Now.
Yes.
But he is also a pretty accomplished musician and band leader and has several bands, one of which will be upstairs, third floor.
Third floor in the ballroom.
Saginaw Club in the ballroom.
Yes.
Tickets are how much?
Tickets are $75.
And they include food and entertainment.
Yes.
And where do you get them?
You can get them. You can go to the website, which we have for the Saginaw Area Fireworks, or you can contact me or Bill or one of our, Tom Roy is the president, and you can contact him, and we have it on Facebook as well.
And this will be on the 31st, what time?
Yes. So it starts at 5:30, and it's an early evening. It goes until 10. So it's going to be a good time. We're going to have some good raffle items, but you have to come and see what they are.
Bill, we've talked about this before, but what is it that drug you into the world of music? Or have you always been there?
Well, Art, it's interesting, and I think I've told this story once before on the air, but growing up on Maplewood Street by Weber, I was a shy kid in his backyard, just playing with my Hot Wheels. I'm telling you, go ask my teacher. I was. People don't believe it, but I really was. I was quite an introvert. My mom brought home a little 45 and put it on the record and on a player, and it was Billy Joel's "Just the Way You Are."
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I'm gonna play piano one day. And she says, well, you're going to have to go out and get a job, kid, because I don't have the money to buy you a piano, but you could play my old saxophone. And so I played her saxophone from when she was in high school at Saginaw High back in the early 60s. Actually got a chance to play a couple of solos when I was in band in high school. But that's where my love of music started. My grandfather was an instrumentalist. He played accordion. He played the organ. Taught my aunts and taught my mom. He taught me how to play the saxophone. I learned how to play in the living room of my grandparents' house, and then I didn't get into a band until ninth grade. But I've always loved music. I didn't start singing until I was in my 40s, and I never really had the confidence to do that. And then I met Donna Clark from the Emmaus House 5 years ago and said, I'm going to put on a concert for you. And that led me to performing with the Kenny Rogers Band for, I had 6 concerts with them.
Was that the first, was that what started it all?
No, I had always had a band. Me and my sister, we always had a...
Yeah, she sings.
Oh, she's a beautiful singer. She got the best voice in the family. If you're listening, Shirley, I know she's shaking her head. But yeah, we did covers. You know, we did 80s and 70s, a lot of Eagles and stuff like that. And then I started doing tributes. And but it was because of meeting with Donna that I decided I would do a tribute show, and I chose Kenny Rogers.
And what brought you to that? I always wanted to know what brought you to Kenny Rogers.
Well, it's interesting because I had gone to the Emmaus House fundraiser, which was at First Presbyterian Church, and they had choirs from all different churches come in and sing a couple of songs each, and then they had a silent auction. They raised money. And during the pandemic, I remember talking to Donna, and she says, yeah, the girls of the Emmaus House would love for you to play piano for them.
I was going to say, I thought piano was your first foray down at the...
It was, and so I played the piano while the girls of the Emmaus House sang.
Uh-huh.
And the next year, I thought to myself, they're not making as much money as they need, and they don't take grants from the federal government. I'm going to do something. Now, at the time, I was rehearsing with a different country band in the basement of a good friend of mine's house, Cheryl Hadsel.
Oh, yeah.
Former county commissioner.
Yes.
And I was practicing in her basement. And she and her boyfriend, Bob, would say, what about this song? And Bob's like, how about Eastbound and Down from Smokey and the Bandit? All right, guys, let's play it. You know? And Cheryl said, you ever heard of a song called Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town? I'm like, well, of course. I grew up listening to Kenny Rogers. I love Kenny Rogers. I proposed to my wife singing Lady, you know, and that planted that seed. The following summer, I started growing out my hair and my beard because people say I look like Kenny Rogers, sound a little bit like him. And so I decided I'm going to do this show. Now, my wife thought I was crazy. And if you're listening, you're shaking your head yes. And she said, what are you doing? And I'm like, I want to raise money for the Emmaus House. I want to do this. I want to try and get some sponsors, sell some tickets. And I just need to find a band. Because my country band is like, yeah, we're not learning 2 hours worth of Kenny Rogers music for one show. And so I did a video. I hired a guy, spent $500. Mandy was like, really? What are you going to do with that? I said, I don't know, but I really felt led to do this. And lo and behold, Danny Crampton, who is a member of my mounted division, great guy. I saw him when they were doing the ribbon cutting ceremony at the animal control shelter to build it. They were doing the ribbon cut, or just getting ready to open it. I was on my way to take Mandy to the airport in Detroit. She was going out to see her sister for her birthday, and she was riding me about this video, you know, how are you going to get this $500 back? I said, I don't know. So I talked to Danny. I stopped real quick. I said, hey, I can only stop and say hi, but I'm on my way out of town. And he says, a nice beard. What are you doing? I tell him what I'm doing. He says, my son Kevin's got some connections in the music business and some, especially people in Michigan. I'm going to call him. So he calls me. Kevin calls me after I'm on my way down to Detroit. And he says, hey, I've got a guy that, you know, he's a Michigan-based guy, Edgar Struble. Now, at the time,
I knew you were talking about.
We know Edgar now. He's a former original member of the Kenny Rogers Band. He was a young guy in '77 when Kenny was looking for a band from Michigan. Spent, I don't know, 15, 20 years on the road traveling the world with Kenny Rogers before he branched off into movies and things like that. Well, I didn't know who he was, but Kevin's telling me, oh, this guy named Edgar Struble. I reached out to him, told him what you're doing, and he says, well, have him give me a call. So I give him a call, driving down to Detroit. Mandy's still in the car. Talk to Edgar. Edgar's like, oh, hey, I talked to Kevin, and yeah, I'd be happy to try and, you know, put a band together for you. I have a lot of connections. And he says, it sounds like a great cause. And he goes, do you have any video of you performing? And I looked over at my wife and I said, I sure do, Edgar. And I dropped her off the airport, and I stopped in a parking lot and I sent it to him right from my phone. Before I got back to Saginaw, he called me back and he says, I got a band for you. I said, you do? Man, that was fast. I said, are they in the mid-Michigan area? Where are they? And he says, well, they're from all over the place. California, Florida, Nashville. I'm like, who are they? And he says, it's the Kenny Rogers Band. Kenny had just died the year before.
Yeah.
And he sent it to his old mates. Chuck Jacobs, the bass player, who Edgar hired into the band in 1979. He called Chuck and said, what do you think? They watched the video, said yes. Now, I have to say this. Chuck is a great guy. He just passed away a week and a half ago, and he'll be sorely missed. So, thoughts out to his family and to the band. He played with Kenny for almost 40 years before Kenny died, and and he kept
was
on
some
going.
loyalty in
They
there. They didn't have the usual turnover.
No, those guys, they're just great guys, and so they came. But I needed to get him here. I needed to put him up somewhere, so I called some local people to see if they could help out in some really,
Deep
right off the
pockets.
bat. It's people that I to this day, I'm like, wow, very grateful to see this project get off the ground. And when it was all said and done, we paid to get them here, put them up, and at the end of the day, we gave the Mass House a check for $27,000.
And what was
awesome.
the band's reaction after they performed with you live?
They asked me if I would join them on the road. Now, see, Kenny,
New Jersey, wasn't it?
it was New Jersey. Yeah, they wanted me to go out to the Tropicana in Atlantic City, and I said, listen, I'm still the sheriff. Now, if you want me to come out and sing with you somewhere, you just call me, and if it's on a weekend, I'll come. And so they're like, oh yeah, we'll fly you out. We'll put you up. And I said, but if I go to the Tropicana in New Jersey, you just have to promise me we'll do the Tropicana in Las Vegas. And so they had, I stay in touch with them, and it's just a real honor to have met them, to have performed with them.
Sure.
And now you do less Kenny Rogers than any of your other things.
Well, that's because I don't do Kenny without the Kenny Rogers Band.
Yeah.
Very often, I'll do a song or two.
Yeah,
But it's they're a special group, and but it was great to raise the money. So
we're going to take a break, come back, tell you more about the 250th celebration of Saginaw Fireworks coming up on the 31st. Diane Keenan and Sheriff Bill Fetterspiel with us this morning on the Art Lewis Show.
My name is Angie Gouja. I've been an
You kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yes.
250th is such a big
Right.
big celebration.
It is. It's going to be amazing. And this fundraiser is going to be a lot of fun. So we hope that people come out and support. Like I said, we're going to have food. We're going to have live entertainment. You can dance. You can drink. You can eat. And then we'll also have raffle items.
Thought it'd be a full evening.
Yes.
All right, so I talked to you separately here about different issues. Eastside Soup Kitchen,
Yes.
because Diane runs that. How's it doing?
Busy, busy, busy. Tomorrow we're having a food distribution. For those who don't know, that means that we'll have like 20,000 pounds of food delivered from the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan per semi, and we will distribute it out in our parking lot through a drive-through system.
How many people will that serve, do you think?
That'll be over 300 families that benefit from that, yes.
Time?
It starts at 9 and it'll go until 10:30.
One of the things the Hunger Solutions Center is under expansion, if you will.
It is.
How's that process going?
Oh my gosh, it's going very well. It is amazing to look out the windows or drive by the street, Thompson Street there, and see. It's just, they're out there working no matter what the weather is. It's great.
All the money been raised?
Not all of it, but we're close to it. So anyone who'd like to make a donation to that as well, it's the Hunger Solutions Center, and you can mail your checks to the Eastside Soup Kitchen.
And for those that don't know, it houses the Eastside Soup Kitchen, but it also houses Hidden Harvest.
It does, which is a food rescue agency, which I know you're very familiar with.
9 years on the initial board, yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty familiar with it.
You were there for the first building, or to build the...
I was on the board when the Hunger Solutions Center was built.
Yes.
And it was really kind of unique the way it happened, because they gathered all the foundations in one room. First one gave and the rest dropped like dominoes.
Uh-huh.
When the meeting was over, all the money needed was there. It was amazing.
That is amazing.
And then what is even more amazing is the building was built under budget.
Yes.
So there was funds left over that we were allowed to keep as a
Preservation fund. Yes.
fund, if you will. Yeah, it was a fund to do maintenance and things of that nature.
Sure.
But you finally reached a point where you needed more room, huh?
Yes, after 20 plus years, just outgrew it.
And
Both agencies.
And to show you the difference, folks, and correct me if I'm wrong with these numbers, the original building we had estimated at $3.2 million. Came in at 2.9 or something like that. The addition, which is probably just a quarter of the size of the building, is $9 million
Yes.
today.
Things have changed.
Yeah,
Yes.
construction's got a little more expensive, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
And so when it's open, what's it going to do for you?
It is going to allow both Hidden Harvest and the East Side Soup Kitchen to have more warehouse space. And it's going to provide loading docks for the semis instead of having to be out on Thompson Street and then unloading it and bringing it in. They'll actually have access to bring a forklift in and drop it off, take the forklift, put right into the freezers, the coolers. So that's going to be nice. At the Soup Kitchen, we offer indoor dining and outdoor drive-through service for our meals. So this will allow people to come into a covered area, which is going to keep our volunteers safer.
And it doesn't expand your dining room.
No, it's going to rearrange some areas of our dining room, but our kitchen is going to be a complete makeover. So
that was
we'll be
my
able to
next question.
operate, yes, more
New
efficiently.
equipment. Yeah.
New equipment.
And one other thing I want to chat with you about.
Sure.
How many volunteers does it take to run the soup kitchen?
At least 15 volunteers a day. Yes, because we only have a staff of 7.
Wow.
Yes.
And if someone wants to volunteer, what do they do?
Well, they can give us a call at 989-755-3663, or they can check out our Facebook page. We'll give them ideas of what we have to offer, because there's different jobs, different things. People have their interests to come in. I know the sheriff and his family come in regularly and volunteer. His Mandy, his wife, and his children, they're great. They have a lot of fun. And Alexander's actually even sang a few songs there for us with his dad.
Well,
There's another singer in the family.
10
There
years old.
is.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
He's good. He likes being in the kitchen, though, he'll tell you.
Yeah. He was running that commercial dishwasher. I turned around. I said, "Where's Alexander?"
Yeah.
And Diane's like, "Well, he's in the kitchen." There he was with his hairnet on and everything.
Yeah.
He's running that commercial dishwasher. He loves it.
He
Absolutely
does.
loves
He
it.
loves being up
great.
there.
It's good.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with our guests. We'll talk to Sheriff Fetterspiel here in a little bit. Let me ask how you slept last night, because today we're asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed and, in theory, you spend a third of your life there, you really need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured that your mattress is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but you can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. They feature 1-hour delivery window of your mattress to your home. And by the way, if you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you to your exact size, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom at 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them online at sanitarymattress.com or call them at 989-753-1757. Sanitary Mattress, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 1935.
The kinetic energy.
Spiel, his band, is going to be performing on the 31st for the benefit of the fireworks. It's going to be at the Saginaw Club in downtown Saginaw, third floor ballroom, and starts at 5:30, goes till 10 o'clock on the 31st. We'll tell you more about tickets. But since the sheriff is sitting here,
Yes, I am. Keeping an eye on you, Art.
a couple of things. How's the? Let's start with this. You, through some very, very creative financing, were able to build a new jail.
Yes.
Has it done everything you thought it would do?
It has. Yeah, I'm really proud of that. When I ran for sheriff, I ran as what I consider a group of congressional members of the federal government years ago deemed themselves as blue dog Democrats, fiscally responsible, more conservative in the way they view the finances. And I've always felt that way. This is not just free money. This is the people's money. And so I was able to build that with the help of Cheryl when she was on the board and the other commissioners at the time, Pat Wurtzel and a host of others who let me run with it. I said, don't put it on the ballot because people aren't going to support paying more money for a jail. And I remember our former controller, I won't mention his name, he says, well, you understand, Sheriff, that's not your role. That's the role of the commissioners to decide. I said, well, this is true. I will admit that. I said, but if they choose to put it on the ballot, I will walk up and down Michigan Avenue with a sign saying, vote no on the commissioner's proposal to charge you more money for a jail. And he says, you wouldn't. I said, yes, I would.
Yeah, you would.
So they said, well, then just you do whatever you have to do. And so I worked with a architect out of Kansas City, Missouri, Larry Goldberg. He built
specializes in jails.
Specializes. He'd built like 285 jails across the country. Great guy. And I told him I need to build a jail that will house the same amount of inmates. I don't want to lose bed space, so we're going to go from 511, and we're going to try and stay around that 500 mark. The other thing is I don't want to have to lay anybody off or terminate any positions, but I think we can use the space better in a new build with technology and fewer people. So if we could find a way to do that, I think we could come up with a solution. And so we did. And the jail is totally different than the old style jail. It doesn't take as much personnel. So when I had a group of people say, well, we're retiring next year, group of us, I started counting up, and I'm like, okay. And a few wanted to go to the road patrol. I'm like, man, we can get down. So we cut 28% of the workforce, no layoffs, no terminations, reassignments, some retirements. And that 20, I asked the commissioners, I said, all I am asking you to do is to keep my budget right where it is today. I don't want you to increase it for anything. Just keep it right where it's at. And that 28% savings of personnel, benefits, and wages, that's going to pay for a 30-year bond, and it pays for that $38 million jail. And I'm proud of that. So then we combined buildings because, former Sheriff McIntyre built on the old headquarters building, and it was separate from the jail. See, again, that took a lot more personnel to run multiple entrances. Now we've got one entrance, and so we looked at ways to save money and still make it safe.
And you have a hub upstairs that spokes out.
Yes, it's amazing. I'm proud of it. It's safer for us and for the inmates, and that's good for us as citizens to know because I don't want to pay extra money in lawsuits and liability. Nobody does.
At one time, 511 wasn't enough. You were always overcrowded.
Yeah.
Has that changed now?
It has changed.
We've had lesser.
Yeah, we have, and I think that's just a national thing that's been going on. No bond or those types of things. That happens. That's another day for another show.
Another thing.
I'm like, listen, you do the crime, you do the time. That's my philosophy. It always has been. I don't want to create more victims. And when you when people get out, and some of it's from the legislature, and I get it, and some of it's from the judicial branch. But it is what it is. So our counts are lower. We're down into the 300s now. And, a lot of people are just, no bond or what have you. But hopefully they don't go out and reoffend. That's my fear.
You rent some of them out to the feds and others?
Yeah, I'll try to make money to help pay it off even faster. So we do get the U.S. Marshals. We'll take some white-collar criminals. And we also built that jail so that we could actually take juveniles. You have to keep juveniles separate from adults. Sight and sound, you have to keep them separate. If you don't, you're in violation of federal law.
Sad commentary about that is, because limited space, I think it was 10 cells or something like that, whatever the number is. But that one's always full.
That's full.
That's a sad commentary.
Most juvenile detention facilities across this state, including ours, are dealing with more violent, younger offenders that shouldn't be in those places. And they need a place like ours. So we get calls all over the state of Michigan. And, I always reserve a block of cells for our local juvenile center and for Judge Meter. But yeah, it is a sad situation, but it's necessary to have. So we bring in counselors, and we don't have any issues from them, not like they would have if they were in those other facilities. Mm-hmm. So, we do the best that we can to help not only our community, but other communities. And in turn, they would still have to pay for that, but they're just paying us to house them. And so it helps us to pay off our debt sooner. And I would hope to do that. Next year, we're going to be celebrating a big milestone for the sheriff's office, 190 years next year. Wow. And, I'm the 40th.
Do a concert?
I probably will. I'm the 40th sheriff of Saginaw County since 1837. And there's only been let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of us since 1975.
Yep.
And should I still be here on March 4th of this year, I will surpass Sheriff Jim Kelly, who's the longest-serving sheriff in Saginaw County history, because I'm in my 18th year. And, I just want to give a shout-out. There's been 40 sheriffs since 1837. The third sheriff of Saginaw County, Tom McIntyre, and I say that in jest, of course. I wanted to say that, they're celebrating the 250th, and our first president, George Washington, appointed Tom as ambassador to Saginaw. Tom, if you're listening, I love you.
It's good.
But anyways.
I'm glad, because I'm usually the burn of those jokes.
Yeah, not when you got a former sheriff. I was in church this past weekend, and I looked over my left shoulder, and I saw our prosecutor, John McColgan. Yeah. I turned over my right shoulder, and there's Tom McIntyre. I'm like, wow, I'm in good company here.
All right, we'll take a quick break and come back, continue our discussions, and remind you about the concert coming up for the benefit of the Saginaw Area Fireworks.
For 60 years...
All right, we're back with you. One final segment with our guest, Diane Keenan from the Eastside Soup Kitchen and the Saginaw Area Fireworks Board of Directors, and Sheriff Bill Fetterspiel, who's going to be entertaining on the 31st. One last question about sheriffy stuff, then we'll come back to the concert. You have ostensibly what is the most unique volunteer organization in any sheriff's department.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to everybody what the support division is all about.
Well, it's something we couldn't do without. Saginaw County residents should be proud to have such a group, of which you're a member of. And, it's made up of people who have full-time jobs. But they have a love of law enforcement, and your father was in law enforcement at the federal level, and that's always stayed with you. And all of the men and women who participate in the different groups love to serve, and they do it for free. We train them, we teach them, and they go out and wear a uniform, and they help us, and they can go out with officers who are certified, and they have the same powers when they're with our staff, and it's a force multiplier. So we have mounted division, a whole horse patrol, if you will. We have a dive team, a marine division with a couple of boats. Wonderful group of individuals there, specialists. We have surgeons and doctors on our Thames unit. They go out with the SWAT team. They're there to make sure if somebody gets injured or hurt or shot, that they can provide immediate help. Yeah. That's an incredible unit. Victim services, when someone is in a car accident and a loved one dies, they go to comfort the family and yes, the victims advocates. What a wonderful group that is to provide a service to the public, get them to a point where they can get family members with them, and then we can go back out on the road to do what we're doing. It's just a tremendous group. Your group, obviously, is the emergency response uniform patrol. So you'll see 4 deputies at every Saginaw Spirit game. 2 of them are full-time deputies. 2 of them are reserve deputies. You probably wouldn't know the difference. They're dressed the same.
To read the badge. That's the only time
and the same powers. And so it's something that we have that I have continued on since the beginning. Since McIntyre's, actually beyond that, but from the first sheriff's days, that's how you got it done. The Old West, the sheriff says, "Hey, let's have a posse." It wasn't just horses, but they had horses. Obviously, it's the only mode of transportation. But we couldn't do it without, and we're talking, I don't know, 15,000 hours a year, maybe more.
Than that, 17, I thought.
17,000. It's incredible. That's the number, and that's volunteer. So it's tremendous, and I'm proud of it. Proud of the unit, that all the work you do.
All right, let's go back to the concert for the Saginaw Area Fireworks to fund a big show celebrating the 250th of the country, July 4th. That area. Concerts when and where?
The concert is Saturday, January 31st at the Saginaw Club, and it starts at 5:30. You can get your tickets now or at the door, and it's going to be a great time. Good food, great entertainment, raffles.
So it's going to be a little bit of country. There's going to be a little bit of rock and roll,
That's right.
a little bit of traditional.
Yeah, it's going to
top
be
40s.
variety.
How many,
Variety.
how many bands do you have doing this?
It's just